Without patriarchy. Without patriarchy, we would all live in a genderless, role-less, feminist Garden of Eden. However, just as the name Lucifer actually means light-bringer, patriarchy is actually an enlightening influence which has brought humanity out of the mud into civilization. Feminism only exists in the shadow of the massive abundance produced by patriarchy. Patriarchy is not the enemy. Patriarchy is the greatest social system ever created. There is nothing so mysterious about patriarchy. Patriarchy is a division of social roles based in natural biological gender differences. Natural, meaning not man-made. That's what you're born with. Males and females have very obvious, self-evident biological differences. Women can have babies, men cannot. Women's babies are designed for nurturing with wombs, breasts, and hormonal cycles. During pregnancy, women are unable to physically exert themselves, to a certain extent, of course. Men's bodies are designed for physical exertion as a whole, meaning not to a certain extent. Physically stronger, etc. Imagine you are part of a small tribe in a survival situation. Conquest, war, famine, death, any of the four horsemen could strike at any moment. How would you divide those social roles? Because your group is struggling to survive, every choice matters. If you give the wrong person the wrong job, that person could die, which could result in other people dying, and so on and so forth, and a domino effect. Because of the differences between the sexes, the best person for the jobs involve exploring, hunting, fighting, building, or defending, which of course is usually going to be the male. This is not some arbitrary cultural prejudice. It is the kind of vital, strategic determination you need to keep your group alive. Because seriously, if you think for 1 second one of these fat-ass, harpy-screaming, fourth-wave, toxic, feministic retards will be able to do any of the aforementioned things for survival, you are sadly mistaken. Sadly mistaken. In other words, traditional roles are the basis, the foundation of our survival as a species. In patriarchy, men sacrifice their energy, their time, and sometimes even their lives for the betterment of women and children. And women give themselves to nurturing children and families. This is what I call the sacrifice of man. Feminists define patriarchy as a system of dominance in which men oppress women. This redefines man's sacrifice as an act of control rather than love. Many men are perfectly happy to have sex with women without offering any protection or value to the woman or her resulting children. It is the act of love that men are willingly giving up their freedom in order to provide for women and their young. Patriarchy is about love. It is about the love of human beings in families, tribes, and small communities working interdependently for the benefit of one another. Feminism, in its modern form, began in the last 100 years or so when corporations moved our economic survival from requiring hard labor to requiring skilled labor. Work used to require hours of physical lifting and back-breaking work. Now, it requires sitting at a desk. This transition made it possible for even the weakest of women to work. Thus why it's my belief that feminism was created by capitalism. Furthermore, employees are easier to manage as interchangeable cogs than gendered individuals with unique needs. In fact, convincing women to work doubles the size of the workforce. Now watch what happens when that happens. This thusly allows employers to cut in half, everyone's wages. It's simple supply and demand. Early feministic movements, even Marxist feminists, were bankrolled by major capitalists in order to increase the workforce and lower wages. So next time you're angry about capitalism or angry about how you're not getting paid a lot as the good old times used to pay people, and thank women and feminists in particular for that. Feminism is a product of capitalism. The "you can have it all" message is an attempt by corporations to swindle women out of their biological needs. If you're a feminist, you're a capitalist, because you made work a greater priority than community, children, or love. In families, each member is irreplaceable. But in a company, everyone is replaceable. In patriarchy, women toiled for one man who loved her and her children that was given to her. In capitalism, women work for many men, completely indifferent to her, and willing to dispose of her the moment cheaper labor appears. In patriarchy, selfish relationship impulses were restrained. In capitalism, they are encouraged. Each member of a tribe community works for the benefit of those around him. But in capitalism, men and women are independent agents with no loyalty or duty to anyone else. Roles that were traditionally played by family are now outsourced. Group homes for the elderly, daycare for the children, even mentors and friends can be bought in the form of therapists and life coaches. This system destroys intimate relationships. It selfishly benefits a woman to bear the children of strong lone alphas rather than the man providing for her. It selfishly benefits a man to impregnate every available fertile woman with no intention of further contact. Alpha fucks beta bucks. This new dynamic has freed men from work. The reason men work so hard was to provide for their families. Men didn't work these long hours out of self-interest. They did so out of love. Love. Most men can subsist, meaning live on very little. It's been said that civilization was created to impress the opposite gender. Without reward, there is no reason to work. No carrot, no jump. As a society, we've reached a point where technology has eliminated the need for everyone to work. Just as capitalism has freed women from their natural role, it's freed men from theirs. Masculinity has been reduced to a fashion statement. Children, they require love, attachment, and stability that can be found in emotional bonds with present adults. They are not interchangeable cogs. You cannot buy a mother's love or a father's wisdom. Love cannot be outsourced. Authentic love is only possible within the patriarchal community. To accompany non-working children are a nuisance. The epidemic of single motherhood, plummeting birth rates, and mental illness is due to the rejection of traditional roles. If society wants healthy, happy children and loving, stable communities, it must thusly embrace the lost values of patriarchy. In the early tribes, humans were entirely dependent on one another. Now they are independent and unsatisfied. Returning to traditional roles means living interdependently and aligned with the natural order, not because we have to, but because we chose to. We could exist alone, but we are fulfilled together. Of course, feminists will call this oppressive. They want you to be free. Free from community. Free from belonging. Free from love. A mass of apes fighting over the highest value made behind a gilded cage.